Hello everyone, my name is Roman. I go to Wilson High School, and today I'll be talking about cinematography and its components. And those components include composition, the 4 types of lines, the rule of thirds, and the 5 basic camera movements.
One of the pillars of cinematography is composition. In this shot here you can see a large aspect of composition, subject, foreground, and background from the film Parasite, the subject being the little girl looking out the window, and the foreground being the kitchen table, and the background being the scenery outside. The second major aspect of composition is the point of view. The point of view of the camera can be used to help the director tell the story and give a sense of who or what is in control of the situation. Here in this shot from the film Interstellar, director Christopher Nolan uses the camera's point of view to show off the wave that will literally and figuratively bring it all crashing down. The camera's point of view shows how small Cooper and the Lazarus team are to signify how helpless they are throughout their journey. Another major part of composition is balance. An extreme example of this is from this shot in almost every Wes Anderson film, where he uses nearly perfect symmetry in the frame. Sometimes balance can be used to help tell the story, but in this case it is just used as Anderson's personal creative taste as a director. Wes Anderson is also a master of simplicity. Simplicity is where there are not many details or objects in frame in order to give the viewer a clear sense of what the director is trying to show. In this shot, he uses the bare minimum in the frame so the viewer can easily see the subject. Simplicity can also add a very appealing look to a film, and it is one of the biggest parts of Wes Anderson's style. Up next is the second pillar of cinematography, which are the 4 types of lines, those lines being vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and curved. Vertical lines are used to convey staticness and no movement, and horizontal do very similar by conveying stillness. In this shot from Ad Astra, you can clearly see many vertical and horizontal lines to show stability in the frame. Everything looks very calm and relaxed. The next type of lines are diagonal lines. Diagonal lines are used to show movement. In this shot from 2001: A Space Odyssey, the diagonal lines are used to show unbalance. That's why the character here looks like they need help balancing, and they are using their arms to keep themselves up. The next line and the final line are curved lines. Curved lines are used to show peacefulness and tranquility. In this shot from Interstellar, you can see Dr. Mann's planet has a lot of curved lines in the landscape that create an idea that maybe this might be the planet for humanity. The next pillar of cinematography is the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is when the camera frame is split into 9 equal grids and the subject is put in any of 4 of the dots where the lines meet. In this shot from Wolf of Wall Street, Matthew McConaughey and Leonardo DiCaprio are placed in these dots. The next pillar of cinematography are the 5 basic camera movements. Those are tripod, handheld, panning, tilting, and zooming in or out. The first and most common movement is the tripod camera movement. This is when the camera is left alone and doesn't move. Tripod movements are used in many dialogue scenes and also when the director wants to capture a moment and have the audience's full undivided attention on a subject, like the way director Jonah Hill wanted the audience to focus on Ray setting up Stevie's new deck, it being a very special moment. The second camera movement being handheld. Handheld camera movements have small camera shakes and jitters that generally are used when the subject is moving quickly. In this scene from Batman Begins, while Bruce is training with Ducard, their fast fighting is recorded with camera movements because it fits best. The third camera movement is panning. Panning is when the camera moves on the x-axis from left to right. In this shot from Whiplash, director Damien Chazelle uses panning to show Fletcher and Andrew almost battling it off on stage and reacting and playing off one another. The fourth camera movement is tilt. Tilting camera movement is when the camera is moved up and down on the y-axis. This movement is used to reveal information or more about a scene. In this shot from Inception, you can see how this is used to show the awe of the physics of the dream being altered. The fifth camera movement is zoom in or out. This is when the camera zooms in or out on the main subject to emphasize it to the audience. In this scene from Interstellar, after Cooper comes back from Miller's planet and he goes through the messages his family left, Christopher Nolan knows that the reaction can be more important than the action, so he spends more than half of the sequence steady and slowly zooming in on Cooper's face to show the audience how much this has affected him. Alright, and that's everything. That wraps it up. I hope you all enjoyed and I hope you all learned something new. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.